Alright guys, tonight it's going to be Alexander Keith's Light Ale. They make no claims this time of it being an IPA, they just say it's their light ale. Sits at 4% ABV. I was originally going to do this review outside, but the weather's been so bad the last few days that I am forced to do it inside. Haven't picked this one up for... geez, it must be more than 10 years. Actually, I've never picked this one up before now. Last time I had it, my dad and I sent my mother out to the liquor store. This was back when I was a teenager. They got a box of Keith's, and she came back with the Keith's Light by mistake, because she didn't know the difference, so it's really our fault. We should have went ourselves. But, yeah, so we're going to try it. I remember not liking it at all when I had it as a teenager, so we'll see how it fares now. Yeah, it was $18, I guess, 18 something at the liquor store for a 12-pack of bottles, which is an absolute steal these days, pretty much no matter what the beer is. So, yeah, we're going to try it out. Okay, we're back with the Keith's Light Ale. Pour it very slowly down here in my Keith's glass. Still getting way too much head, but at least with this one I don't think it's going to last very long. Said I had a 12-pack of this, so I've already had a few of these. The head is usually about a finger's worth if I was pouring it the correct way, but as you can see, I'm holding my camera here with one hand, so I have to invest in a tripod, I think. A proper tripod, anyway. Okay, so we'll be back when this head dies down. Okay, we're back. It's died down. Sort of almost fluffy, kind of foamy head. Not too bad. Color-wise, very pale. It's definitely a lot more pale than the regular Alexander Keith's. It's a bit lighter in color, more of a straw color, lighter straw color anyway. Not too surprising. So we're going to go right to the aroma now. Light grassy smell, some breadiness there. Doesn't really smell like any sort of ale. I'm kind of thinking that just like their so-called IPA, this is more of a lager type thing going on. It's more, even if it is brewed in the ale style, it's been basically it's been cut down so much that it's pretty much just a sort of a lagery, sort of a lagerish type thing, more geared towards lager drinkers. Yeah, it's sort of a musty, bready smell with grassiness, sort of grassy notes in there. It doesn't have any of that cheap sort of corny adjunct smell that one would get with most cheap, crappy lagers, at least. So it's got that going for it. Okay, so take another look here, and we'll get right to the taste. Essentially, the aroma carries right over to the taste. It's got kind of a semi-stale, bready taste. Also a bit of a light grassiness, sort of on the outer edges of things. It's quite carbonated. Doesn't have much in the way of hops. More or less all you get is sort of carbonation at the back of the mouth. It's not bad though. It's basically very light in flavor, pretty watery. Does not have that typical sort of weird metallic kind of standard Keith's taste like throughout most of their other beers. There's sort of a standard Keith's aftertaste. It's not quite as pronounced here. There's a little bit of it there, but it's not as strong. It's not as strong at all. Which is, I guess, why it's considered their light ale. I don't think I'd really say it's an ale. It tasted like about as much of an ale as their IPA tastes like an IPA. More or less, this is a lighter version of their IPA. Essentially tastes the same, but not as horrible in the aftertaste. It's not bad. Would I recommend it? Actually, I'd probably... I'm sort of sorry to say it, but at this juncture, I'd probably take this over the regular Keith's, quite frankly. It's not bad, especially considering the price that it's at the moment, the $18 or whatever. If it stuck with that price, I'd probably pick this up before I picked up the regular, which sits at what, $21, $22, something like that for a 12-pack. This one's easier to drink than the regular Keith's, so yeah. Alexander Keith's Light Ale, I'd give it a very slight recommendation. I mean, it's not going to blow you away. I'd drink just like regular Moosehead or something like that before I even consider touching this, but you know, if this was handed to me at a party, I would not turn it down.